In this tutorial we're going to go over how to keep your computer in tip-top shape for use with Winter. There are a lot of programs that come installed on your computer. Also, any program that you do install on your computer can set itself up so that it will automatically be at the ready when you turn on the computer. You can tell which programs are running in that fashion by coming down here to your taskbar and looking at any of the little icons that are down here. That means that they are running. Here's one for me that's running that normally I would not have running, but because I'm going to use it in this tutorial, I'm letting it sit there. But that's using up a system resource that you want to be available for Winter. So some of those things you can turn off through the system itself, through the program itself, or you might have to go into MS Config, and you can click Start and go to the search bar down here at the bottom. Type in MS Config and let that come up. You can go to the Startup tab and uncheck the things that you don't want running. I don't want Adobe Reader running for me, I don't want that running for me, and I don't want InstaShield running for me. So I take all of those things, I uncheck them. And then when you click on Apply and then OK, you're going to get this message, and you can restart right now. And when you come back in, or when you log back into Windows, it's going to say you've chosen to use the diagnostic utility. There's a little check mark down at the bottom of it, just like this. It says don't show this message again. Put a check mark and then click on OK. I am going to exit without restarting. I'll do that later. Another thing we can do to make your system run at a more optimized manner, you can go into Start and go to Computer or My Computer, depending on if you're using XP, Vista, or Windows 7, and right click on Local Disk C and then click Properties. So you're going to right click on Local Disk C and then Properties. And what we want to do is we want to do a disk cleanup. That's the first thing we're going to do, is to get rid of all kinds of files we don't need to have running on the computer. And you click on Disk Cleanup. Now if it's been a while since you've done this, or you've never done this, this could take some time to kick in. I've just done this, so it's rather clean for me. If you don't know what is acceptable to get rid of or not, you can do a little bit of research on it, but primarily you want to get rid of downloaded program files, temporary internet files, recycle bin if you're ready to get rid of cycle bin, temporary files, and thumbnails. Click on OK, and it's asking you if you're sure you permanently want to get rid of these files, and I do, so I'm going to click on Delete Files. And again, if it's been a while since you've done this, it could take quite a bit of time, so you may want to schedule it during a point where you're not going to be using the computer. Alright, so we're going to go up to Tools. Now at the top of this, there's Error Checking. And you click on that. This is again something you want to schedule for when you're not going to be using the computer, because it cannot run with you using it. When you come in here, you want it to automatically fix file system errors, that is software on the computer that Windows needs. Doesn't really have anything else to do with any other software installed on the computer. And then scan for attempted recovery of bad sectors. And bad sectors would be physically bad areas on the hard disk that need to be marked, so you're not going to be using them anymore. And then you click on Start, and here's going to come the message that says that it can't check it while the disk is in use. If you click on Schedule Disk Check, that means when you restart the computer, it's going to do this checking. If there is a problem, it's going to take a while, if not anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour. And I'm going to cancel it. The next thing you want to try and do frequently, once a week, every other week, I mean, depending on how much you're using your software or how fastidious you want to be about this, You can do this every week, you can do it every other week, you can do it once a month. Defragment now. Defragging a fragmented hard drive is very optimal, because what happens is when these files get fragmented, which means they're not sitting in one place, but there's bits and pieces in different areas of the hard drive, what happens is when Windows goes to look for a file, if it has to seek all the way through to the end of the hard drive or something to that nature, or move around and jump around to find all the bits and pieces, it's going to take it longer to run any kind of event or action that you're asking it to do. So defragging is a good idea. You can ask it to analyze the disk to tell you whether or not it needs to be fragmented, or you can go directly into defragment disk. You can also schedule them at an hour when you're not going to be using it and let it do what it needs to do. We're going to close that. And this. Another thing that I do and that I use is something called Advanced System Care. I'm going to go turn this guy on for us. And I click on the top bubble, that's the first one. And these are the types of things it's looking for. If you have registry problems, you can experience erratic results from Windows, from Winner, from any other program that you're using. So in this particular case, out of all of these, probably registry fix for me is the most important. Of course, spyware removal, privacy sweep, and junk files cleaned. Those are always good to have checked and cleaned up as much as possible. So essentially you'll hit scan. This is going to go pretty fast because I've run this already, and it won't find much, but anything that it knows about, because there's always new spyware being made every moment of every day, then we'll see it scanning through here and looking for it to remove it. And these are known issues that are out there. Now, the registry fix just goes through the registry, which is an integral part of Windows. Keeps track of everything you've ever installed, and if there's an issue in it or just needs to be cleaned up, this is what this is for. And it's very good. I've fixed many a computer with just this little program running. Ooh, look, and I have one problem. Privacy sweep, and then here we go, junk files clean. That's privacy sweep. You know, it's just tracking. It's getting rid of anything that's tracking your history, or anything that's putting any kind of tracker on your computer to see where you're going and what you're doing, a la Big Brother. And so here we go. We're just going to repair this real quick. And that really is as easy as that gets. And I do the first one, which is maintain Windows. That's the top bubble. And then I do diagnose system. And this just goes through anything that can be optimized or cleaned up. Security defense, make sure that I'm secure against any kind of spyware. Another disk defragmenter, you can use this one if you want. I don't tend to. And the security analyzer, just to make sure that your settings haven't been your Windows system settings haven't been hijacked, and that can cause you all kind of problems. So we're going to run a scan for that, and it really shouldn't find too much of anything. As I said, I've done this one already. And you can uncheck any one of these if you don't feel like doing them, but it might take a while if you've never done it. But once you get into this, you won't be spending more than 5 minutes in here. As you can see, it's probably taking me longer to explain it to you than it would have just running it. And the next thing we're going to get into is your virus protection software. And the reason that we really make a big deal out of this is because your virus protection software can be cumbersome, it can be very heavy, resource intensive, and if you want Windows to use resources, then you want to get something that is less top heavy. In recent weeks we've found that Norton is actually going through and deleting some files of Windows that we need. So for that reason we don't. That's one more reason against Norton, besides the fact that it's so invasive of what you're doing. Norton, McAfee, Trend Micro, Kaspersky, some of the bigger ones seem to have gotten really resource intensive. At home I use AVG. It's a free antivirus, or the free edition. There is a paid one if you want to go in that direction. And this one is what I use at home, along with the Windows Firewall, Advanced System Care, and I can tell you I've not had a virus on my computer. And so this one works well for me. There are other free ones, Avast, and some of the other ones don't come to mind right now, but this is the one that I like. Alright, and now I made a quick change here and switched my settings back to a more colorful bar, and with all of the nice things that go with it. And these textures and making it semi-transparent take up resources as well. So what we're going to do, and what I'm going to show you, is how to turn that off. So I go into my Start button. I'm going to right click on Computer and go to Properties. In Properties, I'm going to click on the Advanced System Settings. And I'm going to click on the very first Settings button here. Now, the visual effects is what I'm talking about and what we're going to change. And right now you'll see that it's set for let Windows choose what's best for my computer. Well, as you can see, all of these controls are checked on except for one, which means those things are taking up resources that you want to leave for Winter. So we're going to click on Adjust for Best Performance. You'll see that all these now become unchecked. Click on Apply, and you're going to see a change in my system. It will go gray here for a second. Don't let that throw you. And you'll see that it now goes back to almost a classic Windows look. In doing that, we really are saving ourselves a lot of resources that now Winter can use, and it will react and be better equipped for all the things that we do. And that is about it. I hope this helps, and I'll see you in my next tutorial.